This is Financial Straight Talk with Jim Fox.
And we welcome you back into this week's edition of Financial Straight Talk. As always, it's powered by Wadadley Financial Group. And once again, we're here with the founder, president, investment advisor, representative, and of course, the most handsome man in the room, Jim Fox. My name's Kevin McAlpin, and Jim and I thank you so much once again for joining us on the program. And if folks want to learn more, well, keep this number handy. It's 321-414-7526. That's the number to reach Jim Fox and his team at Wadadley Financial Group. Again, it's 321-414-PLAN or online anytime at getfst.com. So, Jim, I saw a new one here recently, and I want to get your thoughts on the term stagflation. That's one that I had not heard much about, but essentially it's what happens to the economy when you have high inflation, slower growth, and high unemployment all at the same time. Now, the good news is it's rare, but the last time we saw it was back in the 1970s, and now economist Frances Donald recently told CNBC she's worried it could return. Take a listen to this.
We have job gains that have moderated. We have inflation that has moved up. And that's okay for right now because the unemployment rate hasn't broken out. The bottom hasn't fallen out. One of these sides of this stagflation environment is going to break. And the Fed is not going to have the same luxury middle of 2026 as it does now to play both sides of that. This equilibrium that we're in, it's not going to last forever. Our view is that inflation is going to turn out to be the real problem. And heading into 2026, this Fed are going to have to slow down here when they see inflation rising further into Q1.
All right, so Jim, let's talk to the listeners out there that are nearing retirement, and what can you do to help them, make sure their income not only keeps pace with inflation, even if we know the stock market at some time might cool off eventually.
Yeah. Okay. So let's just start with this. Now this is pre-Kevin times. Okay. Mm-hmm. But years and years and years ago, Jerry and I were talking about funny terms that the government loved to talk about. And one of those was transitory, right? Mm-hmm. Inflation, Kevin, is transitory. That means temporary, right? That didn't work out that way, but that was the thing, right? And there's always these funky little economic terms that the financial weenies, for no better word, love to throw around. Now, what I'm going to say is going to shock my listeners, and they're probably going to think this guy doesn't know what he's talking about. I'm so over it, and I don't care. And here's the reason why. Because the reality is that the economy is what is happening within your own four walls. It really is. It really is, right? And yes, things are going to cost more. Right. And yes, unemployment could get all messed up. And I mean, there's just so many things that could happen. Or there's black swan events. There is never a perfect environment. Right. And there's always some problems going on somewhere. I think, and I'm probably going to get this saying wrong, but I know that my dad always used to tell me, you're either getting over a problem, you're dealing with a problem, or hold on because there's a problem on the way, right? That's what my dad always used to say, because it's like that is we're adults. Kevin and I were just laughing that my son called me because he can't figure out how to use an extension cord, and he's 13 years old, okay? This is, guys, our show is real life, okay?
Yes,
if you want scripted, hang tight. There's a financial weenie show coming on soon that you can listen to. But what I want you to understand is yes, stagflation is a legit real economic term, and the definition is, high inflation, low economic growth, high unemployment, blah, blah, blah. Here's the deal. How do we weather it as investors? How do we weather it as retirees? It really, really, really depends on where you are on the spectrum. Kevin, you and I are, well, you're farther down the line than I am, away from retirement. So we have to continue to save money, deal with the volatility. We're going to have ups and downs. We're going to try to make sense. Yeah, it sucks because tires are going to cost more and all the other problems, right? Mm-hmm. The retirees are in a different mindset because you know what? They have their investments generating an income, hopefully, right? Their need of growth isn't as important. And what we're ultimately talking about is how does stagflation, inflation, hyperflation, what other crazy, all these different terms, how does that impact you? Now, it does have something to do with purchasing power. Luckily, we're not Venezuela. We're not Zimbabwe. We're none of those countries to where we have to worry about one day waking up and it's going to cost, $116,000 for a loaf of bread. Okay. That's just not realistic. We're never going to deal with that. So what we have to do is instead of hyper focusing on funky economic terms, falling into this like nerdy conversation where we're talking about things that we truly don't understand so we can use big words. Like literally, I had dinner and I love my Marine brothers. Okay. I love them to death. But one of them went to Columbia and one of them went to Harvard. Okay. So just deal with that. Okay. I felt like I needed a dictionary having the conversation with them last night. They said bloviated. What other weird? Look, this is a redneck show, okay? We don't use fancy big words here. Here's the deal. Ladies and gentlemen, we need to make our portfolio, the money that you have, work for you, regardless if the markets are awesome and things are kicking butt or if things are horrible and Rome is burning. We need you to have a portfolio that is going to weather the storms. We need to put you in a position where you're confident that no matter what is thrown at you, that you have at least an idea of a plan on how you're going to deal with it. Because the greatest risk to your retirement has nothing to do with inflation, stagflation, hyperflation, innovation, technovation, make up whatever words you want. What it comes down to is how do you weather those storms? And the thing is, if you don't have a plan, if you don't have a good plan that makes sense, if you just own a bunch of stuff, hang in there because it's going to be weird and crazy. When we work with somebody, our job is to say, hey, look, if something were to happen, this is kind of how we're going to deal with it. Because what will happen, I've seen happen in just the past month, people have to pull an exorbitant amount of money out of their investments because they have a grandchild that's sick and insurance won't cover the treatment. I've seen that happen. We have another couple, both husband and wife. Their dementia is moving much quicker than we anticipated it. So now we need at-home care more frequently, which went from costing them a couple $1,000s a month that is now nearing $12,000 a month. Kevin, that is the true threat to your retirement. And it's not all bad. It's not all bad. There's great stuff too, right? You need a plan that makes sense for you and your family. And the problem that I have, I was part of that problem at one time in my life, is that finance weenies like me sell you products, annuities, mutual funds, stocks, bonds, CDs, ETFs, and all this other stuff. They sell you this stuff. And the reviews look like this. Congratulations, you're up 16.8%. Blah, blah, blah. None of that stuff matters. It does, but it doesn't.
Right.
What matters is how are we going to take the money that we have saved our whole lives for? How are we going to take that money and how are we going to enjoy the remainder of our lives in retirement without worrying about running out of money, without worrying about what happens if one of us gets sick and ends up in a nursing home? How do we plan for those things? And the answers aren't always easy and the answers aren't always pretty, but we need to deal with them. See, it's easy for me to get caught up on funky terms to get you to pick up the phone and call me. But this is all the wrong things to do. You need to pick up the phone and call me or call somebody or do something if you don't have a solid plan around your retirement and what needs to happen. See, that's the difference. That's what we do. I truly do not care. And this is the wildest thing to say on air. I truly do not care if you become my client. How awesome is that? You have a guy who doesn't care if you become a client because all I care about is you making good decisions for you and your family. And I'm not here to sell you anything. What I'm here to do is encourage you to make better decisions. Stop listening to the noise. Stop listening to all the other nonsense that's out there and have a plan built. Because if you do it right, it doesn't matter if the government was shut down for 40 or 41 days, 63 days, 2 days, if we have the greatest stock market ever or the worst stock market ever. If you have a proper plan, you should meet your retirement needs no matter where you sit. That is what we do each and every day. And I want to encourage you, you have the opportunity, pick up the phone and give us a call because we're standing by to get you in the office and give you an opportunity just to talk to us. I don't know if we're going to work together. I have no idea. To be honest with you, I don't even know if I like you. But what I do know is this, we're going to offer you some great information that you can utilize to make better decisions. With good Lord willing, and we find a good fit and we work well together, we can talk about working together. But regardless, I have a simple goal. I want you to walk out of this door knowing more about your retirement than you did when you walked through without any sales pitch attached. That's what we want to do for you. And all you have to do is pick up the phone and give us a call. Kevin, I know we're at the end of the show. I'll let you give out that number. And thank you guys for letting me ramble today.
Well, not at all, Jim. And that's why we're here each and every week. We hope our listeners take away some information, some things that when it comes to planning for their retirement. That's why we do this show each and every week. And if you've got questions about any of the topics Jim and I covered on the program today, whether it's stagflation, whether it's RMD mistakes that folks have made over the years, or maybe it's deferrals when it comes to planning for your retirement. Also, don't forget, Jim and the team at Wadadley Financial Group, also this year, once again, supporting the Toys for Tots movement. If you'd like to donate to Toys for Tots, you've got a couple of weeks to drop off those toys at the offices of Wadadley Financial Group. And if you'd like to learn more about any of it, you want to have that conversation with Jim when it comes to your financial future, that number once again is 321-414-7526, 321-414-PLAN, or online anytime. It's getfst.com. Well, Jim, time flies when we're having fun. It's been another great show here. And before we do run out of time, my friend, the floor is once again all yours for the final word.
Thanks so much, Kevin. Well, guys, every week we want to say thank you. We know that you have tons of options when it comes to getting financial information, and we're just honored to be one of those resources. So like Kevin said, if there's anything we can do, pick up the phone, give us a call. We're here to answer those questions. But with all that being said, on behalf of myself and Mr. Kevin Mack, I want to thank you so much for listening, and we'll see you next time on the Financial Straight Talk.
Thanks for listening to Financial Straight Talk with Jim Fox. To learn more, visit getfst.com.
Insurance products are offered through the insurance business Wadadley Financial Group. Wadadley Financial Group is also an investment advisory practice that offers products and services through Impact Partnership Wealth LLC IPW, a registered investment advisor. IPW does not offer insurance products. The insurance products offered by Wadadley Financial Group are not subject to investment advisor requirements. Investing involves risk, including the potential loss of principal. Any references to protection, safety, or lifetime income generally refer to fixed insurance products, never securities or investments. Insurance guarantees are backed by the financial strength and claims paying abilities of the issuing carrier. This show is intended for informational purposes only. It is not intended to be used as the sole basis for financial decisions, nor should it be construed as advice designed to meet the particular needs of an individual's situation. Wadadley Financial Group is not permitted to offer, and no statement made during this show shall constitute tax or legal advice. Our firm is not affiliated with or endorsed by the U.S. government or any government agency. The information and opinions contained herein provided by third parties have been obtained from sources believed to be reliable, but accuracy and completeness cannot be guaranteed by Wadadley Financial Group.